I'm not into the hereditary divine blood thing, but she has zero claims to the throne. If we were to depose the queen, it would be to make a republic, not choose another queen. That's what you think, Two Cars, but we gotta hear Romano out. She might have a true claim. You don't know that. So we'll get right into it, I guess, since we're already talking about Romano. I
Wait, did
wonder.
Rebel interview her?
So no, but we'll get to it in a second. I I feel something weird is happening right now. I just saw this on Twitter. Let me pull it up. It turns out
While you're pulling it up, you could share your screen.
that is true as well. Good call. Doo-doo.
Thank you.
Up. Shared screen. So this as we can see here, so we got a tweet by Luke LeBron, and he says Rebel Media says it's planning to make an initial public offering and sell shares in the company. And so I guess this is from the thing that says part of the plan is to prepare for an initial public offering to sell shares in Rebel News, like many companies do, but we need to get ready for that by being more business-like first. The journalism is the fun part of Rebel News, but we need to add on a business side too to supplement our crowdfunding efforts. So I'm not fully sure what that purpose is of this. It seems very weird and
Yeah.
suspect to me.
Yeah.
But then you take that in combination with the fact that they did that segment on Chris Sky where they called out his anti-Semitism, and then they released this piece here, and it's clear. So this piece it says debunked. United Nations armored trucks spotted in Toronto. And it says not part of a vaccine conspiracy. And this is David Menzies reporting. We're not going to watch it. The premise of the video is, I guess, some anti-vaxxers complained that there was these trucks lined up against this wall, and they had UN spray painted on it. So you can sort of see the UN marker here, right? And people were like, oh no, the UN is coming to town, and they're going to lock everything down. It's some like UN conspiracy thing. And David Menzies went to the scene and interviewed the person who works there and debunked the claim, because apparently this company in Toronto manufactures these vehicles for the UN and then gives it to the UN and it's deployed elsewhere around the world. Okay? Now a lot of their fans are still like angry at the UN, like, oh what, you're gonna trust the UN and stuff like this? Very weird. But also kind of weird that they did this like debunk on something I didn't know this conspiracy existed, but it was enough that David went out there to be like, this isn't real. Right on the heels of him coming out like confronting Chris Sky about his anti-Semitism. Okay? And I'm starting to see a pattern here. And so we don't need to watch this video. But just before we went live, this video dropped. And it's Andrew Chapados, who's one of the people on Rebel, criticizing this Romana Didulo person who claims to be the Queen of Canada. Okay? I have not watched this. It's 5 minutes long. We'll get into it. But I feel like there's a trend happening at Rebel right now where they're trying to distance themselves from what I would consider the more kookier elements of the COVID conspiracy scene. And I wonder, does it have to do with the business stuff? Is it that some of their donors were leaving? Is it that they think this is a way that they won't get kicked off of things like YouTube or PayPal anymore? I'm not sure. I don't trust it. But I'm just saying it's a weird coincidence that they've done a bunch of videos like this all in a row. You know?
Yeah.
Just seems a bit weird. So we're going to watch this one and we'll see what we make of it, you know? It might be nothing because we might just end up agreeing with everything that Andrew says. Although it's Rebels, so I'm guessing they're going to say something that we'll disagree with. So there needs to be a wiki documenting David Menzies' various dumb hats. Isn't it just the same
He doesn't
hat?
even have a regular wiki.
Yeah,
What if we made a Rebel News lore wiki or an Imperial News lore?
I could probably make the wiki myself. You know, we probably know more about his background than anyone else. His parents died. He was raised by his grandparents. He loves Columbo. Look, I can write his biography, you know? But let's find out. Let's see what Andrew has to say about Romana Didulo.
Welcome back, everyone. Nice to see you. Haven't you heard? Canada has a new queen and prime minister. Her name is Romana Didulo, and yes, this is as ridiculous as you hope it is. I've received dozens of emails to the tune of, Andrew, what about our new queen? Can you look into this? Can it be true? Now, if you thought Chris Sky's best friend Rob Carbone was the self-proclaimed billionaire, future Prime Minister of Canada, and leader of the non-existent Republican Party, if you thought he was a low-level honeypot, then you're in for a treat.
See, this is weird too, because they were recently quasi-defending Rob Carbone in like criticizing Chris Sky in their last video too. But now they seem to be tossing this guy to the curb as well. Although this guy is super weird. Let's be real. This Rob Carbone dude is still pretty weird. What is this chips and gravy person? You might want to... I have no clue what's going on there.
Now, Carbone may have been a guy who just claimed he would become prime minister through copywriting a phrase from the Charter of Rights, but Romana, on the other hand, literally claims to be the queen and prime minister right now, and she might even be committing crimes too. There are some similarities, though. Rob Carbone's website...
What? Muslim Voices for Carbone. Muslim Voices for Trump will energize and mobilize the Muslim community. Electing Rob Carbone will ensure the protection of religious liberties, economic prosperity, and educational opportunities for Muslims in Canada. Do you think the reason why he's showing this is to criticize Carbone by saying, look, Carbone likes Muslim people? Is that what we're getting here? Because why else would they show this?
So why does he have that? I don't...
Well, I mean, he believes he's a sovereign citizen type weird person, so I don't know. It's just weird.
But like, is he running for an election? Because this just talks about Muslim Voices for Trump. Like, it doesn't say...
Yeah, but they're going to mobilize the community to elect Rob Carbone. See, it's Muslim.
Was he American then?
No, he just pretends like he's like a Trump. He's pretending to be the Canadian version of Trump, but thinks that like, for one, he claims to be a billionaire when he probably isn't, and for one, there's no chance of him winning because he has no party, no backing, none of that stuff. But he thinks he's going to be elected the next Prime Minister of Canada.
That is so weird.
He is a very weird person. He's released like advertisements and stuff that are very weird.
Notoriously had text ripped directly from the Trump campaign. Didulo says, I'll do you one better, Rob, and I'll just not fill out my website at all. Didulo has received some press from her videos since servicing in 2020, and although there's no direct evidence her followers are QAnon supporters, it doesn't really matter. She has no problem misleading and taking advantage of people who are just looking for something to believe in. Between videos about withdrawing Canada from the UN and NATO, Didulo has a large following on Telegram of nearly 30,000 people. Yes, you read that correctly.
There's so much weird going on here too, because Rebel has been very critical of the UN and somewhat critical of NATO, given Trump's predilection to criticize NATO countries for not paying their fair share. So it's... There's weird, like, talking points that they seem to be abandoning as well. Like, this is very weird to me. It might not feel weird to you, the audience, but as someone who listens to them every day, this feels weird to me. And, like, the criticizing of the QAnon, I mean, that is the most critical of QAnon I've gotten from Rebel since we've started talking about Rebel. Like, Ezra's main criticism of QAnon Or he doesn't even offer a QAnon like criticism. Whenever a QAnon comes up, all Ezra says is, "Yeah, but Jeffrey Epstein is true." So, and like, what is that? A conspiracy theory? Which doesn't tell you that he thinks QAnon is wrong. It's just that he's like, well, look, their conspiracy has been confirmed. Jeffrey Epstein. Even though Jeffrey Epstein isn't, I mean, like, it might be adjacent to QAnon stuff, but, you know.
Yeah, all of this is, I don't know. It's all very weird coming from Rebel.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is where Romana
Are they trying
delivers
to
her
become more mainstream right wing? And is that the issue?
I don't.
Like they're trying to.
I don't know that they can.
Oh, I don't know if the mainstream right exists anymore either.
I don't like. I just don't. I mean, we can't really derive a pattern because we're noticing a pattern, but like this could just be a blip in their thing. Like it could just be like an immediate thing, just wanting to distance themselves from the like crazy, what they consider to be the crazier spectrum of the COVID stuff, knowing that this pandemic is coming to an end, maybe, and knowing that they're going to have to shift away from it. Maybe. I don't know. It's seemingly very odd how they're covering this.
more insane and possibly criminal calls to action. Some of it's even downright sad. I'll show you what I mean, starting with just the blatant lies. The Pope is dead, she declared in early June.
Okay.
Quote, the real Pope Francis and 31 cardinals all were shot on sight. Vatican was the children's sex trafficking ring master.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
May 31st, 2021, the Queen decrees. 327 MPs quietly have announced their retirement. It was so quiet, in fact, many aren't sure if it even happened. She's also got great ideas like mandatory service for those 50 years of age and older, which includes the following: basic military training, peacekeeping, and assisting in arrests, and in case you weren't sure, all of the above. Basically, Romana wants to...
That is pretty great. I don't know if you can see it on the thing. So it says, duties include but not limited to, okay? Learn basic combat training so you can help protect Canada and Canadians. Peacekeeping with Canada. Humanitarian aid within Canada. To aid in arrests within Canada. Clean up in communities, cities, provinces / territories. And all of the above.
Okay.
They're pretty good platform.
Who are they arresting and fighting?
I don't.
If it's a mandatory draft for everyone.
That is kind of amazing. I know it's includes, but it's not limited to all of the above. Oh my god. This person's interesting. The fact that she has 30,000... I mean, I wonder how much of those 30,000 people on Telegram are, like, serious followers or people like me who follows Rebel, you know?
all of the above. Basically, Romana wants to enslave senior citizens. Wow, big if true. From the obviously false to potentially harmful, Her Royal Majesty made these two declarations in the first half of June. She asked her followers to deliver cease and desist orders to schools, grocery stores, the CDC, mall administrators, basically anyone who enforces masks. This was followed by a message that states that the cease and desist order uses natural law, which is, quote, the highest in the universe, end quote. Personally, I adhere to the galactic laws of the Federation.
Are they pro-mask now?
Yeah, just the cease and desist, because the cease and desist stuff was because it was criticizing like the mask stuff, right? And it's funny because natural law is like a very religious position that a lot of conservatives adopt. Like that's how they justified like anti-LGBTQ stuff. And they contrast it with like, you know, like the natural law. We need to go by natural law. And like it has a legal definition, but it is pretty close with how they contrast it with some sort of like biological essentialist sort of like idea. But whenever you hear people like legal scholars talking about natural law, they're often conservative Christians. Some charlatans will have you believe that you require special syntax grammar to untangle yourselves from enslavement, corruption, and criminality. No. Fabian.
Only, natural law can do that. Only. Natural law.
Yeah, game over
Can
for
do
them.
that.
Where we go on, we go all. Interesting. But yeah, I mean, they would probably agree with the whole, like, don't wear a mask, but then disagree. I don't know. He's also just wanting to make a joke because he's like, law of the universe, haha, galactic confederation joke thing.
In the universe, end quote. Personally, I adhere to the galactic laws of the Federation, but that's just me. Now, people have actually attempted to follow.
What was that?
I just said, shut up. It's not a funny joke.
Yeah, I know.
It's terrible.
I didn't even laugh.
Star Trek.
The fucking Nazis using the Star Trek. Just to be clear, I'm not saying Rebel News are Nazis. I'm just saying it would be ironic if the Nazis were making Star Trek jokes. That's all.
Yeah, it'd be like a little bit ahead of the times too. Like, what, 20, 30 years?
No, listen, Star Trek
Because the Nazis were before Star Trek was released.
My cat is apparently taking over the stream. No, I got the joke. Star Trek wasn't around. It made. Look.
When are we getting the Simone emote?
When are you gonna get a Simone emote? Eventually. We'll get to it.
All these directions and posted videos about it online. Take a look at this man attempting to serve his local police department.
Hi there. I just wonder if this detachment's been served the cease and desist order.
A cease and desist?
Yeah, anything related to the authority of COVID?
I have not, no.
Okay, could I leave this for your chief?
I would have to talk to somebody.
It is legit. I just gonna just recommend that it gets complied with. It's recommended to give to your chief of police. I believe that's Chief Gilbert.
Yep. Can I just pause here and say, the fact that Andrew Chapados is criticizing this and mocking it and making fun of it, and this is indistinguishable from some of the wacky, stupid shit that we cover that Rebel does constantly. Like, didn't we just see David Menzies in Peterborough, like, go in and claim, like, oh, they're laughing and shaking hands over at the Murdoch mystery set. You should probably go do something about it. How is this any different from that?
Rebel Civil War.
Yeah, indistinguishable from Menzies. This is the exact same fucking thing.
If you could do that, that'd be great. So I'm just gonna. If you need my name, you can get it through Romana. She's the new commander in chief. I'll be reporting back. So Romana's the new chief commander of Canada.
Oh no.
I mean, that's pretty sad, you have to admit. The next few posts,
Yeah,
though,
almost like
from
David
Romana,
Yeah, it is
really
pretty
make
sad.
It seems like this is just a sting operation to rope in.
What's... It is pretty sad, but it is pretty funny that the police are just like, what? All right. I guess I'll fill out a form.
A lot of gullible or possibly law-breaking individuals. In this post, she says, we're going to have a, quote, specific chat group here where Canadians can post the names and locations of governments, doctors, pharmacists, schools, teachers, businesses, etc., who continue to push vaccines, end quote. Followed by, the people we sent to Gitmo never returned alive. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, everybody, but Queen Elizabeth doesn't ever call for violence. Hashtag not my queen.
I'm sure she's probably called for violence at some point. No? I mean, like, yeah, like a lot
Does
of...
she have to authorize wars in the UK?
Well, I mean, unless they have a way of skirting around it like America has skirted around their, like, declarations of war or something. But even then, like...
What are you talking about, skirt around declaration? What are you talking about?
Well,
we don't do that.
Sure. Well, you have to get Senate's approval. You've just managed not to get Senate's approval for, like, decades.
Well, yeah. We sometimes in a country you have to make executive decisions, just like this person's doing. You have to stand up. You have to say, no, we're not doing it. No more CDC. No more COVID masks. Nah, enough. I admire it. It's very American.
There is no war in USA.
she probably hates the IRA for bombing her uncle. Yeah, that's true. I'm pretty sure there's probably Queen Elizabeth mentioning somewhere out there. He's Irish, need to be dealt with.
Jesus, Mickey.
What?
Could you imagine?
I know that my Queen Elizabeth sounds like Mickey the Mouse.
Could you imagine, like, Catholic Mickey Mouse against the IRA? It's some alternate Disney World fucking timeline where Walt Disney, like, was Irish. Oh my God. Please.
We get... Yes, make it so. Star Trek.
So there's that, but there's also Romana's latest and most suspicious endeavor. It's called Canada 2.0 Military Sign-Up ? She poses herself a question, which is obviously real, you guys. Quote, Queen Romana, is it possible to create a separate page for Canadian patriots who wish to put their names forward to join Canada 2.0 Military? What a great name that is. Yes, she answers. Click below. Now, no one willingly would join a group and effectively...
She posts a question and answers it herself. She's so weird.
I mean, that's what it's a Q&A.
Yeah.
It's a frequently asked questions.
Yeah.
Like
you
a
know?
pack. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a way to join your made-up military? Yes.
Yeah.
So it's somewhat
Yes.
unrelated, but have you guys seen that that ad about the noodles, where it's like they're showing ramen noodles and like they're presenting these questions that no one's asked, like, you know, are your noodles in stock? I've never heard of this fucking noodle company. I've never asked that question, but they're telling me it's in stock, that the noodles are wholesome and full of protein. You guys should check it out. It's now pick up a box of what's it fucking called ramen at fucking called ramen.com. This earworm is like in my brain now. There's nothing I can do about it. Sorry.
Well, I don't watch commercials anymore, so I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's YouTube. It's one of your viewers knows. They've seen this
that
fucking
means
commercial.
that you've been Googling too much ramen.
No,
The algorithm knows.
not true.
Not
true.
That's the ramen. That's a self-report.
put their name on a list admitting that they're willing to join a militarized group for an
wanna
unelected
sign up
person who
for
claims
all
to be
of
the
the
leader
above.
of the country, would they? As of this recording, around 900 people have said, yes, please put me on a government watch
900
list.
strong army.
I reached out to Romana,
Okay.
Her Majesty.
Can you pause it there?
Yeah.
Just like a little note about the fact that Telegram uses your real life human phone number. And these humans have signed up using their real phone number for what is effectively and explicitly a paramilitary organization intent on overthrowing the existing government of Canada.
That is pretty
Like, what the fuck?
There's also like some irony in the like getting lists of names, which is pretty much their entire grift. She's just doing their grift, but instead of saying sign my petition, she's like join my military to overthrow the government.
Yeah. Want my military to execute everybody who has ever had a hand in distributing vaccines.
Twice to do an interview, and the Queen just didn't have time to respond to me, I guess. Too busy knighting people. I wanted to tell her that the real Prime Minister is actually Dave Portnoy of the Barstool Party of Canada.
Okay, emergency press conference.
Please let me know what you guys think in the comments.
That's
Crazy
some
government
joke. I don't
operation, or will
watch
you join
Barstool.
me and kneel before our new Queen? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching.
I'm curious what the comments are going to say. I'm just going to have to first move Simone as she lays across my table. Actually, you should say hello to the people, Simone. You look terrified. Say hello to the people. No, the people are over there. Say hello to them. Okay, fine. Be rude. No one likes rude guests. Let's check out these comments. For one, it just dropped, so there's only 3,000 views right now. Oh my god, still better than Trudeau. Still better than the current one.
Yeah. What's the likes to dislikes ratio?
Oh, how about this? Rebel is becoming the misinformation, gaslighting garbage everyone despises. Why even do a story on this at all?
What are the likes to dislikes?
12 dislikes, 298 likes.
Oh, okay.
Crazy part is she's saying a lot of things a lot of Canadians want. Unfortunately, it's taking a nut bar to say it. If you want the whole positive truth, you should be respectful and talk to Romana directly. I'm appalled at this one-sided story. Like, all the comments are pretty negative, actually.
Wow. Can we read that one with the 2 replies and then read the replies?
She actually ordered small and medium businesses to reopen. There's a method in this strangeness. If someone, Floyd, is a saint and men menstruate, why can't she be a queen? And then the person goes, I love your comment. Agree, if anyone can identify as anything they want, then I identified being jabbed. Done deal. Okay.
Sure. Okay.
So like, Queen Ramona is going to take over?
I don't know.
Yep.
Is this what it is on the right? It's just like an ever increasing like ridiculous leader the whole way through. Just like people saying ridiculous things and taking the crown.
Yep.
That's nuts, right? That's dumb.
I like this.
Even back in the day when
Sorry.
wannabe monarchs had to do this, without Telegram.
Yeah.
Something about Carlism.
Yeah, I mean, there's something about having these online networks that makes it easier for these people to get around. So this person goes, Chris Guy exposed Carbone for the con man he is. Then someone goes, yep, he exposed Rebel too. Well, they kind of did it to themselves, but made it very clear nonetheless. And then someone goes, here. And then someone defends Rebel by going, how? By acting like an insolent baby instead of just explaining his views calmly? Maybe he was off his meds at the time. And then this person goes, he was calm and he was right. Have you seen the video? If you have, then I have to assume you're either a paid employee or not very bright. He was there to talk about freedom rallies, not religious garbage in the Middle East. Hey. It's just, and then this person goes, sorry, I don't think the idea of leaving the UN is funny or wrong. So, like, it's, like, weird. Like, they're getting a lot of, Rebel News is the best controlled opposition on YouTube.
Wow.
Like, something's going on. Something's going on, and it's hard to track what it is. But,
Fight.
Yeah, but I'm hoping, like, this heel turn, or I guess turn away from being the heel, I don't know enough wrestling terminology. What is it when you go from bad to good? Not saying they're becoming good, but, like, I fear that, like, trying to posture this moderacy is an attempt to a face turn, okay? That is trying to, like, get back into the world's good graces after they fucked with us this entire pandemic, you know? And I don't like it.
Hello, my rebels. Hello, my rebels. I'm a good boy. I'm a weirdo.